Okay, I am joined today by someone who's just had a very good week. She is the reigning Swiss road race champion. She was 7th in the Olympic Games road race, and now, most importantly, because we're here in Australia, she just won the Tour Down Under Women's. Noemi Rüegg, welcome to Train Like a Monk.
Thank you.
I'm going to need you to say your name so that everyone knows how it's actually pronounced, not the bastard Australian version.
Noemi Rüegg.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So, Noemi, I guess first things first, congratulations. How are you feeling now, 4 days after Tour Down Under?
Thank you. I'm feeling good. Took me a few days to let it all sink in and actually realize what happened. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm super happy, and yeah, it's been a good couple of days of recovering from the tour, and yeah, now we did some efforts again, preparing for the next few races here.
Yeah, and I guess the confidence will be high for those next races. So we'll get into that in a second. I want to focus on just one key part because I'm sure you've had 500 questions about Tour Down Under so far. But I was watching the Willunga stage from the top of the hill on the screen, and I saw the two Neves, Bradbury and Fisher Black attack, and then you closing the gap. Super high pace at the bottom. It looked like you were completely on the limit, and I thought, okay, Noemi is closing here. She'll get there and then blow completely because she's gone way over her limit. What was going through your head at that moment as you're closing the gap? Did you think this is too hard, or were you thinking, no, I'm under control, I've got this?
Yeah, I was actually pretty under control. I knew at the bottom of the climb when they attacked, I couldn't follow with their attack, but I knew I would struggle the most in the first part of the climb because that was the steepest. So I knew I just had to ride my own rhythm and not over pace it. So I just rode my own rhythm, and I saw that I'm coming closer. So I was like, okay, I can close this. And then, once I closed the gap, I still felt pretty good. I was not over my limit. So, then I knew, okay, now I can actually do it. Yeah.
And you had I guess, at what point in the climb did you think you were the strongest of the four girls?
Yeah, I think somewhere towards the top when they started to look at each other, and there were a few attacks that I could cover. So I was like, I'm actually, this feels all right, this feels under control, and no one was really wanted to work or push the pace. So I was like, if it comes to a sprint, I know I'm the fastest, but I also know I can follow the attacks when they're going.
Yeah, and I think I saw once the pace stopped and it was more stop-start, then it suits you much more as a sprinter when it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The pace on the whole way from start to finish, and it's good, I guess. Watching a little bit how you were racing last year to then this year, the big improvements seem to have come in your climbing more than your sprinting. You always were someone, to me at least, it looks like you're always someone that's had a good sprint. What, I guess, did you focus on coming into the Tour Down Under to make sure that you were able to climb to the stage that you were able to go for GC and get up a climb like Willunga first?
Yeah, we did indeed focus a bit more on my climbing ability and less on the sprinting. So I did some more threshold work. Also a lot of under-overs on the climbs for quite a long time. So I think it was a mix of a lot of things that came together.
And when you're doing the threshold stuff, is it more than you had in the past, or just similar but building on all those years of training, it's now paying off more than it has in the past?
Yeah, I think it's more that, it's just accumulating over the years that I'm also getting stronger. Because we didn't really train. Well, I did in general, I think, more hours on the bike for sure.
Okay.
During the winter.
Yeah.
Also in.
And where were you in the winter when you were training?
Mostly in Switzerland.
Okay.
So I'm actually pretty proud of that.
Yeah, a lot of time on the trainer then, or just outside in the snow?
Both.
Which part of Switzerland are you in?
I'm close to Zurich.
Okay.
So not really in the coldest part, but yeah,
Right.
we had a few days of snow and freezing temperatures all the time. So I tried to do most of the trainings outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, if you have 5 hours, you cannot do it outside. So then I split the training. I did like 2 hours outside, 2 indoor, some gym. Yeah, so I also got like up to 6 hours per day.
And because you increased, I guess you're saying you increased on other years, was it difficult to find the motivation to do that in winter in difficult conditions more that like train more than you ever had before, or did this goal help, or it's just something now that feels natural that that's just what you do now?
Yeah, I think it feels kind of natural. It's just like part of the job, and for me, it actually gives me a lot of motivation to be at home, to train at home, because I just love being home and
Yep.
have like also the balance to meet family and friends, not being away from home for too long. So mentally, I like able to train a lot more if I'm at home rather than when I'm 3 weeks on
Yeah,
altitude.
okay.
Or yeah.
And will that change, you think, now that you're a superstar World Tour stage race winner, or you think you'll stay as much at home as you can?
I think that I hope that won't change. I hope
Yeah.
I will still be able to be at home, and I love family and friends. So
Yeah.
it's
No, it's
important.
I think it's really cool that you're able to train in Switzerland. I guess moving on to the next question, like train in Switzerland for a race here in the conditions that you had. So right now it's not super hot, which is why we're able to sit in the sun, but I don't think we'll be sitting outside like this the Saturday and Sunday when you were racing. So 34 and 35 degrees, the two main GC days, I think. What kind of preparation did you do for those temperatures?
Yeah, I did a lot of heat training.
Okay.
So I trained every day 1 hour on the indoors.
And when did you start that? How early before the race?
Yeah, actually pretty early. I
Okay.
started it after our team camp, so that
Yeah.
was end of November.
Yeah.
So beginning of December, I started with the first block,
Mm-hmm.
and I did around, I think, 2 weeks. But always, on the training days, just 1 hour top up indoor on heat training, and then on the rest days, I would go to the sauna.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. And when you were doing the training indoors on the trainer, did you use a core sensor and that kind of thing to do it, or was it purely just riding by feel? Like, okay, make sure I'm riding to the point where I'm getting hot and sweating a lot, or what was the protocol you used?
Yeah. So we on training camp we all did a session together where the doctor like measured our body temperature, but with a normal fever
Yeah.
thermometer. Yeah.
Yep.
So then we had like a protocol how hard we had to ride in the first 10-15 minutes to be able to get on this temperature. And then at home I did the same thing. I just wrote like that and then measured the temperature with the thermometer.
Yep.
Um,
And so then you did it enough to just get to that temperature, and then that was okay, or you just kept riding for how long after you were at that high temperature?
Yeah, so the goal was to get to 38.5 body temperature,
Yep.
and then keep that for at least 45 minutes.
Okay.
So the whole session was around 1 hour.
Yeah, and you did that for close to a month then in total each day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did like 2 weeks and then 1 week off, like without heat training, and then another block before coming here.
Yeah, okay, so really big focus on that then. And did you notice that it made a big difference? Do you think it made a big difference in why you were able to perform so well in the heat?
I think so, yeah, because I could handle the heat really well here.
Yep.
I think in general I'm an athlete that handles the heat, better than others. So I think that's, just also luck. But I think the heat training for sure helps, and also just physically it's a big benefit, not only to be adapted to the heat, but also I think it makes you stronger.
Yeah, and I think that's what people are learning more now, and why people are doing it more is that, and I spoke with Megan about it in preparing, initially when you would have seen the forecast was actually it wasn't going to be so warm, and then all of these people, your whole team was doing it, a lot of other teams I'm sure, and we're doing a whole of December heat training, and then when it's going to be 20 degrees everyone thinks, oh no, it's for nothing. But actually there's still major benefits even in races where it's not super hot,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you find that you're going really well. And I think, going into the general performance, were the numbers on Willunga, did you analyze your numbers after, or you didn't even care because you won the race and you didn't look at the power numbers too much?
Yeah, I didn't look at it until like the day after.
Yeah.
I also didn't stop my Wahoo for like 15 minutes after the finish. So yeah, but yeah, I had good numbers. Like
Was it a personal best for you, or just something like normally what you were doing in training? Or?
No, it was an all-time 10-minute best, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is impressive then, because it shows even the run in was really hard, because I think the climb took around 8 minutes for you guys, I think, something like that. So
yeah, 9 minutes, I think.
yeah. So then it's impressive, that it's all time in those conditions at the end of a hard race, because also it's the second time up. So I guess, is it something that you've always found you're able to produce your best numbers in a race scenario instead of training?
Not really. I think I'm also quite, I don't know. I can go deep also in training.
Okay.
But no, I think most of my bests are from racing.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. And is there anything you focus on? Because it's a thing I work with some riders on that struggle to produce their best numbers in racing. Is there anything you have to focus on to do your best training numbers in, or your best power numbers in a race scenario instead of training?
Well, I think it just comes, with
Just having the
knowing,
extra motivation in the race.
yeah, that also, and like knowing when to put the power. So try to really save as much energy as possible in the beginning of the race. Eat and drink well to make sure that you really have everything you need to produce these power numbers. And I think if you spend too much in the beginning, you will not be able to produce the power when it actually counts.
Yeah, definitely.
And then for sure with the crowds and like the adrenaline, it all comes together.
Yeah, it's cool. I guess for you, it's funny because you would have had some crazy crowds in the last year already, with racing Olympics last year. I was there that day. The crowds were absolutely insane. And then also for your own home world championships in Switzerland. So do you find that does give you a boost?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that makes actually a big difference when you just feel like this atmosphere and everyone's so happy and motivated to cheer you on that gives you another.
Able to go deeper.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, we'll get into the usual questions then. So what would be your favorite training session?
I think one of my favorite training sessions, I actually did it today. I had like this over-under session for around 18 minutes, that you're just riding 2 minutes harder. No, actually 2 minutes less hard and 1 minute harder, 2 minutes less hard, 1 minute.
Yep. And the one is just over your threshold and the two is just under, something like that?
Yeah, the one is almost at VO2.
Okay.
And then the
so
2
really
minutes
hard then.
is around or just below threshold.
And for 15 minutes all up, something like that?
Yeah, 18 minutes.
18 minutes, yeah. So that's pretty solid then to get through those. And so how many of those would you do in that session?
Normally 2 of those, and then 2, but then the other 2 are 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay.
So
so it changes each time.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And then what would be your least favorite training session?
My least favorite, that's a good one. I think probably like that's actually good.
So you like all
day.
the training sessions?
No,
then?
not always. Like VO2 max, when you just have to do like, I don't know, a set of 4 times 4 minutes, and that like
the classic session. But
yeah,
it's funny. I had a guest that I spoke to. The episode will probably come out after this, but she just said that's her favorite training session.
Oh,
so
really?
but it changes all the time. So it really, for each person, it's something different. It's funny though, because you just did an effort that's really close to VO2 max, and it's clearly something that you're good at, being able to do that kind of effort, but still not necessarily something that you're good at is something that you'll like doing as well.
I think also, I mean, the Willunga, it was like a hard effort, but it was like the accelerations, like then.
So it's an effort that suited you.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a lot of races like that where people think, oh, it's a 5-minute climb or a 10-minute climb, but it's never steady power. It's always on, off, on, off. Yep. What would be your favorite training loop? So I'm going to guess it's something in Switzerland, but maybe something different.
No, it's in Switzerland, yeah. I really love training in Switzerland, and I love riding in the Swiss mountains. So, yeah, there's this one loop from Silva Plana, and then you go over the Julier Pass, and then you descend, and then you go over the Albula Pass.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite.
I think I did some of that loop from Livigno at one point on a training camp. It is beautiful up there, and also really not many cars at all up there. It's really, I was surprised because I thought in the summer as well, I thought a lot of people would be up here hiking, touristing, but it's actually really quiet on those roads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Okay, when you have a training session where you have efforts, are you someone that likes to do them at the start of the ride, or do you save them until the end or spread them out?
No, definitely at the start of the ride.
You get them done and then they're finished with?
Yes.
Okay.
Today we had to do them after like 2.5 hours, and it was the worst.
Mentally challenging if you do it like that.
Yeah,
okay. That's interesting because, do you work with a coach ever that tells you to do the opposite, to do them at the end?
Yeah, sometimes I do have them at the end, or like I have a training session and then in the last hour, like another set of 40 20s or something like that. So that in the last hour you have another effort.
And I'm guessing you don't like it so much.
No, not really. I just like to have it done and then enjoy the ride home.
Yeah, okay. Are you someone that sticks to the training plan that you have, or do you change it up? So let's say like you have a week of training planned and something happens, or you prefer to change some things around. Do you change it or just do what the coach tells you?
Definitely I stick to the plan.
Okay.
Whatever happens. I hate changing.
If you have a 4-hour ride, do you like sometimes add on an hour or take an hour, or always exactly 4?
Mostly exactly 4 or adding on, but never less.
Never less. Okay. So if you come home at 3:58, you have to do a little ride.
Yeah, well, I actually stopped with that, but I used to be like this. But now I can also stop at 3:55.
Okay. 5 minutes is okay.
Yeah.
When you do your training, are you solo or with a group?
Mostly solo, but I realized actually last winter I enjoy group rides also quite a lot. But
do you have a good training group where you are in Switzerland?
Yeah, we have a few professionals also near my home, so I sometimes go with them. Yeah.
Men and women, or?
Mostly men, actually, only men. Yeah.
And then when you're solo, do you listen to music or podcasts? You just said before this that you're not really the podcast person, so what would be your music if you are listening to it?
I'm actually not listening a lot to music. I'm more like the type that just writes and I love being with my thoughts. But sometimes it's needed.
Even for efforts, do you just listen to nothing, or?
Yeah, in the efforts, nothing.
Okay, interesting. That's the second person ever. Megan was the first person on this podcast to say that. Normally everyone needs something, but
no, I'm more like after the efforts to ride home. I like to listen to music, but like in the efforts, I need to be in my zone. Like
Interesting. When it's bad weather in Switzerland for sure, or anywhere that you're training, do you go out and get the sessions done in the rain or in the snow sometimes, or do you just get on the trainer whenever you need to?
Yeah, both. It depends on the session. If it's possible to go outside, then I try to go outside, but I also don't mind to ride on the trainer. Like I can ride 3 to 4 hours.
I think it would be, if there's anyone in Switzerland that didn't have a trainer, it would be nearly impossible to train consistently.
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
Winter because some days it's just there's snow falling on the roads and you can't ride on it.
Yeah.
Do you have a mountain bike or a gravel bike or something in case it's like that, or a winter bike kind of thing?
I have a gravel bike, but honestly I didn't ride it a lot.
Yeah.
So
do you have to put big tires on the road bike when it's winter, or just the normal setup?
No, normal setup. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you're training, are you someone that likes to stop on a training ride, or no stops, get it done?
No stops.
Okay. So you haven't You've had a lot of stops this week, yeah,
Yeah, I
with
had
all the
yeah.
rides.
And I was actually messaging one of my friends at home, like, you will not recognize me anymore when I come home, because I did like coffee stop every day here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about training camps. Always it seems to happen a lot, which is weird because everyone has this idea that training camps it's go do it, no stops. But training camps, I think, is when you stop more than any other time
Yeah.
of year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. When you are training, what would be your favorite training food?
Banana bread.
Banana bread. You make it yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Not often, but when I do it, then yeah, I like
Yeah.
to take it with me.
And then if you stop on a ride like you have been here, what's been your favorite thing that you've got on a stop on a ride here in Australia so far?
Probably also banana bread. They have
Okay.
really good banana
They
bread
do have
here.
good banana bread here. Yeah.
Or just a good piece of cake is always good.
Yeah, that
And
always
of
helps.
course coffee.
Yeah. Do you prefer the coffee in Australia or in Switzerland?
Difficult one. I have to say the coffee here is really, really good. Especially like you can stop anywhere and it's good.
That was one question I thought riding in. Is it more expensive, do you think, in Switzerland or in Australia?
I think in Switzerland.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I know Switzerland I've been to a few times. I was riding for a Swiss team the last 2 years. It was super expensive, but then whenever I come back to Australia, I'm like, oh, here is also really expensive. But I guess if you're with the team all the time and doing sponsor rides, you probably haven't had to pay for too many coffees.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's lucky. And maybe after this week, you won't have to pay for any more because people know who you are now as well. What would be your favorite breakfast? What's your normal breakfast before a ride?
Mostly just bread with an omelette.
Yeah.
Or porridge.
Okay. And then lunch when you finish your ride.
Oh, that's different a bit, but yeah, mostly like a nice salad with also bread, cottage cheese always. I can't live without cottage cheese.
That's a really popular one in cycling teams. Everyone loves cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Gets your protein in as well.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Do you do any low carb training or are you always well fueled?
I'm always on carbs. Yeah.
Yeah. You've never done it in the past, low carb stuff?
I did, but yeah, it was already a few years ago, and yeah, it didn't really have an effect on me, and just
What carbohydrates were you aiming for in the race for those hard stages? How many grams per hour?
Normally between 90 and 120.
Yeah.
But
And
at least 90.
your stomach was okay with that in the heat?
Yeah.
And is that something that you focused on in training as well, to train your stomach for that amount?
I do sometimes, yeah, gut training, but yeah, I can handle it pretty well, so
yeah,
I don't have to. I mean, I'm always feeling well also in the ride, but I don't need to ride too much with 90 grams in training.
Yeah. And do you do any cross training? So when you're not riding, any running, hiking, gym, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I do some gym, mostly like, if possible, 1 to 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no running or hiking or anything like that.
Okay, even in Switzerland, no hiking?
No, yeah, sometimes in the off season.
Yeah, okay.
But no, not during training periods.
Yeah, okay. Now we'll go to the rapid fire. So this is one thing or the other thing. What would you rather out of these two? What would you prefer, aero or lightweight?
Aero.
Disc or rim brake?
Disc.
Tubeless or clincher tire?
Tubeless.
Saddlebag or handlebar bag?
Handlebar bag.
Handlebar bag. Oh, your team. 3 people in your team have said handlebar bag.
Yeah, I also get a lot of shit for that.
Yeah, really? What makes you choose the handlebar bag over the saddlebag bag?
There is way more space, and yeah, it's just...
Yeah, okay. Socks over or under leg warmers?
Under.
Gloves or no gloves?
Gloves. Gloves in racing, but not in training.
Okay. Heat or altitude training?
Heat.
Okay. Have you done much? You would do a lot of altitude from Switzerland, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
And you think the heat helps you more?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Town sign sprints or QOM hunting?
Town sign sprints.
Yeah? Have you done many town sign sprints with your team here?
No, not really. Actually, not at all.
Okay.
But I'm not a QM girl. I'm not on Strava.
Okay, not on Strava, so no one can stalk your time from the Willunga then.
No.
You couldn't beat, you didn't want to upload it to see if you beat Sarah Gigante's com?
No.
She
I
was,
think, yeah, I didn't beat her.
yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Early morning riding or pro hours? When do you like to leave for your rides?
The good 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you prefer a Rico spin or a day off the bike?
Day off. I never ride on my rest days.
Okay. Pasta or rice?
Pasta.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Okay. Would you prefer to ride with a half wheeler or a wheel sucker?
With a wheel sucker.
Yeah, you don't like being half wheeled?
No.
Squeaky disc brake or creaky bottom bracket?
Bottom bracket.
Okay. I guess, yeah, Switzerland, you're doing a lot of braking, so if it's squeaking, it's not nice.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to be completely hunger flat or severely dehydrated?
Dehydrated.
Okay. You don't mind if you run out of water.
No.
I guess it doesn't probably happen as often
No.
in Switzerland as here when it's really hot.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. What would be your best piece of advice for people listening?
I think just, yeah, don't take everything too serious.
Okay.
Have a lot of fun while riding your bike, and don't forget to have a mental balance as well. I think that's one thing that was most important for me the last few months, to not only focus fully on cycling but also enjoy the normal life.
Yeah, and being home would have helped that for sure.
Exactly.
It's, yeah, interesting that you say that, because a lot of people in Switzerland probably are going to Spain, Tenerife, wherever for training camps at that time of year. A lot maybe come out here even Christmas or a lot earlier than you did, but having that time at home you found really helped you.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like so fresh in my head, and
Yeah.
I think, yeah, to be mentally ready is, yeah, as important as physically.
Yeah, and I guess it's good that you're able to think about that now as well, because with this, which is probably the biggest win of your career, I guess, so far, it would be easy to get talked into taking it more and more seriously now. So if you're already thinking, okay, don't take it too seriously, remember to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, it's really going to be important, I guess, now. There's never someone from the team directly telling you that we have a lot of pressure on you, you need to perform well now, but sometimes you can feel it when you're in that situation. And then especially, I'm sure, coming here, there was a big expectation from the team that you could go for the win. So yeah, to be able to not take it too seriously, enjoy the time with the girls, it's impressive. Is that how you felt that it went as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were super calm and relaxed at the start, and I knew I was in good shape, but yeah, I could just really enjoy it and focus on my job, and yeah, I wasn't too much under pressure or like, oh, I really want this win. I was like, yeah, I go for it and I do everything to go for this win, but if it happens then it's great, and if not then there will be many chances to
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way of thinking about things, in that there's not putting too much pressure on yourself in that moment. And yeah, I guess because you've been progressing, it seems always like consistent, but I'm sure there's times where it goes a little bit down and then comes back up again. But having that confidence that can keep happening. So even if maybe the Willunga stage win, if you weren't able to hold on to the GC, there's still, you have that confidence that, okay, I can do that again and get there. And then going in with a bit of a more relaxed mindset, not taking it so seriously, and then being able to then get third place on the final stage after a really hard day where everyone's trying to steal it from you, then that's super impressive.
Yeah, exactly. That was also how we went into the last stage. Like, I really tried to enjoy the stage win on day 2 and don't already think too much about the next day. And I knew whatever happened on day 3, like I had this stage win at the Willunga climbs that no one could take away from me, and that was already amazing. So yeah.
I think that's really important for people to hear, because so many people, it's kind of a cool thing when you win to be like, I'm already focusing on the next thing. And I also really like that your team had a big celebration dinner that night and like went out together, because in this sport especially, you don't win much. Like
Yeah.
you had a really good year last year, but I don't know, like in your really good year last year where you progressed a lot, how many times did you win in the whole year?
Yeah, 2 times.
Yeah, so, and that's a successful year as a pro cyclist to
Yeah.
win twice. So now already you've won a stage in the
Yeah.
GC, you have to celebrate it because it doesn't happen so much.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, when you celebrate it, don't think immediately, yeah, it's the cool thing to think, oh, no, I have to focus immediately on the next goal.
No.
And then you're working so hard towards something and then
Yeah.
not actually making the most of it when that thing happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for coming on. I'm sure that mindset's going to take you really far in the sport. Clearly, the legs are going to take you really far as well because they were going very well this week. Good luck for this Sunday, the race here in Adelaide. I think it actually comes past the street we're on, or very close to.
Nice.
And then good luck at Cadell's race next week and for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Make sure to subscribe for the next episodes and stick around for more. Thank you.